You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time.
All season long and even in the offseason. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. So good to hear that John Tesh Classic, because it means we're closer and closer to the NBA kicking off again, and it's going to kick off tonight. The league starts games back up after the All-Star break, and the Utah Jazz will be playing tomorrow at Memphis. Joining us already in Memphis, he is Big T Thurl Bailey. Big T, thanks for being with us, man.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, we're just trying to get back into basketball.
Ready for some hoop.
Oh, I mean, we are dying at this point. I like the Olympics, but you know how it is. Like, are you that type of way where you're like, let's get back going with this thing? I can only be at home and hang out so much. I got to get back in the groove here.
Well, you know, the All-Star weekend is not just for the players either. It's you know.
It's for you guys.
It's for us, too. We get to take a little break, maybe go somewhere and play a little golf. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to get a break. I mean, I remember as a player, it was nice it wasn't as long of a break, but it's nice to get back in. I know my wife is happy I'm back into it, not her way, but yeah, it's good to kind of get right back into the groove.
Well, it was a break, but there wasn't a lot of break in NBA talk. There was a lot of discussion specifically about tanking. I'm sure you heard it. You may have your opinions on it, but what was your reaction to the Jazz kind of getting targeted and being made an example of with this issue?
You know, I try not to. I let the business of basketball, the people who deal with that. You know, my job is really to talk about the guys who are on the floor, guys who are playing, and you know, I think when it boils down to it. Listen, the NBA obviously is part of creating the whole scenario. So we'll see what happens down the road. But, yeah, you know, my job is to just call the game as the players go out. I mean, I may have my opinions, but you know, they don't really have any bearing on anything. But, you know, the team that goes out and plays, I know these guys want to win. They want to win badly. And so, look, the Jazz have made some bold moves for the future of this franchise, and I'm one of those guys who trust that they know what they're doing, and the fans understand where we're headed. So that's how I approach it.
Big T, you're in Memphis, of course, for the Jazz and the Grizzlies, and of course they just made a deal happen not that far away from the All-Star break, and you got to see Jaren Jackson Jr. for a couple of games before he had surgery to end the season. And obviously the good news is it's a surgery I think that they were like, hey, we feel great about this, getting ahead of it, and he's going to be right back to himself. And so I think people feel good about the decision to be able to kind of take care of that long-term care. In those couple of games, though, what are Jazz fans getting? Obviously they've seen him here play as a Grizzly, but what are they getting with that guy, and what do you think of that add to this roster?
Well, you're right. Jazz fans know what they're getting. I mean, I like everyone else I don't even know the right word for it. You know, when you can acquire a guy like that who is one, he's a winner, and you know, and I kind of watched him grow up. My career crossed paths with his dad's career for a few years, and I think it just makes a bold statement for this franchise that, look, we've got assets that we've built up, and now we're ready to make some bold moves. And you can't get any bolder than bringing a guy who is one of the best defensive players in the league, a guy who can stretch the floor in his own way. He's kind of an anomaly, similar to what Lowry is with what he does. You know, he's a guy that can guard multiple positions. He can score at all levels. And so I think it says something when you make a deal like that. And that's for the injury. I mean, you know, obviously health is priority. And not that he probably couldn't have played more with it, but why risk it? if it's something you can get done now. We've seen what he can do in just a few games without really knowing the scheme of what the Jazz are going. He's just out playing basketball, and he's going to love the team. He's going to love the coaching staff, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see him be a part of something really, really great.
Yeah, seeing him in a Jazz uniform 3 times before he had to shut it down was really exciting for everybody, and you got to see him up close and personal. What did you see in those 3 games? What did you observe that has you excited about what he can do with the pairing with Lauri Markkanen and the rest of this team?
Well, I think if you knew him well, you knew his game well, and you see him enough times against the Jazz, you know how he can punish you. And he's one of those guys that you've got to come up with defensive schemes because not one player can guard him. He's also a guy who, I've already kind of touted it as the Wasatch front court. When you put he and Lowry and Nurk and potentially, Walker Kessler out there to play, it's a front line that is going to kind of shake up things, I think, around the league. So he can post, he can shoot the 3, he can put the ball on the floor, he can pass the ball. I mean, I think all it's about now is Coach Will Hardy coming up with how to best utilize what he does well along with other guys. And I think Will's been really good at that and how to set guys up to be who they are and not limit what they can do.
Big T, Thurl Bailey joining us on the program here as we talk about this Utah Jazz team. We're getting back into action. Going to be firing it up tomorrow right here on your dial, by the way, to listen to the radio call of that Jazz and Grizzlies game. But, Big T, we were talking about this before. JJ and I have been going back and forth talking about this also, where it's like, hey, it's awesome to get those great defenders because, man, this team needs defense. It's been a rough go, and I know that Will Hardy wants those guys playing so much defense. It just is so hard in this league to defend against such great talent. But how do you go from being the worst scoring, giving up the defense, giving up the most points in the history of any team at this point right now, and then just saying, hey, now we're going to get this Jaren Jackson Jr. That doesn't solve all the issues. How do you teach these young guys who've gotten good at scoring to be even better defenders?
I think they've improved defensively. I think when you look at how young this team was last year and how these young players have continued to grow, Cody Williams, I think, has made a huge jump. And the reason he's made his jump is because he is focused on the defensive end. Bryce Sensabaugh, I think we all know he has a knack for scoring, but his defense has gotten better because it to him it had to get better for him to get minutes. And so I think the onus on these guys individually to be better defenders on ball has forced them to really focus on that. The offense is going to come. And so a guy like Isaiah Collier, I mean, all these guys have work to do, even the vets. But I think when you go out knowing that defense is a priority, you're not just going to go out there and get the ball, have plays run to you, that you've got to earn minutes other ways. And I think when you add those other elements, like a Jaren Jackson Jr. or a healthy Walker Kessler, it puts more responsibility on you not to just rely on those guys to do what they do, because a lot of really good teams in this league make threes. And so I think the defense starts on ball, and a lot of these guys have really jumped and improved in that category.
After this Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, you look ahead and you mentioned, I'm sure that's going to stick, this Wasatch front idea of that front court, and it really extends the entire lineup, Big T, because you're going to have a 6'4" point guard in Keontae George, a 6'8" two guard basically in Ace Bailey, and then you can throw out 3 7-footers in the other spots. How important is it to have a lineup like that to be able to compete with all the other teams in the Western Conference who are also gifted with size?
It really is important. I think that sometimes, look, the stars in this league, the guys who can put up buckets night after night, are vital. But I think even just as vital are the role players you put around them. You look at what OKC did last year, and you look at the year before. I mean, the teams that win rings are really good defensive teams. And they have the guys that can score. Look, Lowry can score. Keontae can score. Triple J is going to be able to score. But you've got to have those pieces around them that can come off. They're not going to have great nights every night. But I think what happens is the others, as people call them, the guys who come in and play those alpha dog roles, those roles that maybe not get a lot of print, but they're just as important. And so I think when you talk about that lineup, yeah, it's powerful. I think there's no question that it's going to be a great look and it's going to be successful, but it's not the end-all, be-all. You've got to have other guys around that are going to have their nights. The Bryce Sensabaughs, the Isaiah Colliers, who is the past first point guard. And the combination of those guys mixed in with, your high-powered scorers like a Lowry.
I think that one of the things that stinks about all the tanking stuff has been, I think it's at the detriment of trying to develop guys, right? But that's been something that Will Hardy's been so focused on. How do you strike a balance of that, as Coach Hardy is tasked with that, of you got your guys who are very, very good. You got guys who they have to make a decision on what this is going to look like in the future. How do you strike that balance as you put lineups together if you're Will Hardy?
It's tough. It's really tough. I mean, even going back a little bit before that, I mean, the business of basketball is what it is. It's a tough business. Players get traded. I walked into the hotel, and the first person I walked up to was Walter Clayton Jr. He was just a member of our team. He's a great kid. I think he's going to have a great future. But, the business of basketball is you have to make these tough decisions to get to the ultimate goal. And you don't know if all of them will work or they're right, but you've got to trust your experience and you've got to go with your gut sometimes. I mean, I'm not in that war room, but I would think that the guys in that war room have been there, and you trust that they know what they're doing. And so Coach Will Hardy also has a job to do. His job is to put the guys out on the court to win games and get better and develop players. And I think he's been doing a great job at that. And they've committed to him, for the long haul. It's a tough haul, but I know he's the right guy for the job. I watch him with these players and develop. I watch him get on these guys and talk to them about, improving and putting their teammates first. So, yeah, he's got a tough job. There's no question about it because he wants to win. Everybody wants to win. And so there's got to be some patience involved. But, I think Will is going in the right direction as I watch these individual guys. I mean, look at what Isaiah Collier's doing. The guy comes out with Keontae hurt, and he understands this league now. He understands what he needs to do to be successful.
You talk about Isaiah Collier, last 10 games before the break, 15.5 points per game, 10.4 assists. And we talk about some of these young players. Who's going to be a part of what this team looks like moving forward after this trade? Who's going to be in the rotation and all those things? Isaiah Collier's made a pretty good case. What have you seen from him lately? The increase in his numbers, some of the growth in his game. What have you observed?
Well, I think what I observed even before Walter Clayton Jr. was traded, there's always an internal competitiveness, right? Guys are always looking for minutes, always looking to break into the rotation. And when you have 3 point guards with kind of different skills, right? You've got a scoring point guard, and you've got a guy like Isaiah Collier, who's a pass-first guy, but he's very physical Keontae, they look for him to score, and that's his job. But he's also a guy who has learned how to, to distribute. But I think when Walter Clayton Jr. was traded, it kind of opened up a little. I think it made Isaiah Collier kind of exhale a little bit. Now, they were great teammates, but when that happens, there's going to be more responsibility and onus on you, and that's exactly what happened. And you've got to go out and perform because you're probably going to get those minutes. And I think he's just stepped up to the plate. He hasn't hesitated. He's come out. He's not tried to be anything other than who he is. And his confidence is high. I watch him shoot threes now, and he feels like he's going to make them. Last year I wouldn't have said that, but he's become just a more physical player. He knows he's good, and that's the first part of it. So I love the way that he's been developed and the way the coaches have really brought him along.
Utah Jazz first week back into the next portion of this NBA season. You guys obviously down there at Memphis, and then on Monday going to Houston, and then coming back home for the Pelicans. That's the first week of the Jazz coming right back into their own and into their schedule. And Big T, Thurl Bailey, joining us on the program. We appreciate all your insights as always, Big T, and thanks for joining us on the program, man, and thanks for doing it on the road. It means a ton, man.
Anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go.
Thanks, Big T.
Thurl Bailey. Man, I'm looking at this schedule, too. And there you go. Grizzlies, Rockets. I mean, the Grizzlies, that organization,
Can you imagine, if Jazz fans are looking, that's like, hey, you're where we were 4 years ago. Good luck.
That's a long way away.
They're going to have to they're starting now what the Jazz decided to do 4 years ago.
And they're just being told that if you start tanking, you're toast. And they're like, oh, can you wait a couple of years? The Rockets, of course, that's a team that's going to be, they're going to be in those playoffs. They're going to be a force in the playoffs as well. Yeah. And then they come home and host the Pelicans for they double dip. They have the Pelicans twice in 2 days over here at Delta Center.
The Pelicans are interesting because they stink, but they don't own their pick. They traded it to the Hawks in this last draft.
What's the what are the terms? Like what's going to happen?
It's
just
gone.
Whatever it is.
It's not protected.
No
it
protections.
Is gone.
I love it.
So the Pelicans stink because they stink. They're not trying to tank.
True bad
They're
basketball.
Just bad, and they got Zion Williamson. They traded a lot of their guys to save money. But my point being is the Pelicans aren't incentivized here. The Pelicans Jazz wouldn't mind letting the Pelicans win a couple of those games. And if you look at the standings, the Jazz wouldn't mind falling behind the Pelicans. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's really wild to think that the Pelicans are like, their front office is going, look, we made some of these deals, and
oopsies.
Here we are. Yeah, and
one of the best drafts of the last 10, 15 years. And they punted so they could get a player, and it's a good player.
They stink because they stink, but they will be motivated to win because what you do know is if you're the Pelicans, you don't want they're giving that pick. I know it's an Eastern Conference team, but you don't want to improve some other team with like a number 3 pick because you were so bad. Right?
Yeah.
They want to make it look like, we got better value for that guy we traded for.
They
only
made
got the
that
11th
move
pick.
to get Derek Queen, 21-year-old center.
And then
he's good.
He might turn into the number 3 pick of the draft. What if he turned into the number 1 pick?
My goodness. Can you imagine if
if they gave up?
Pelicans pick wins the lottery?
Crazy. And the Hawks are at home, just high-fiving each other.
Jeez.
We knew we were doing a good job by getting rid of Trae Young. We knew that we were building this core up, man. Yeah, it's bonkers, man.
Yeah, Atlanta would own that pick.
All right.
Great trade for Atlanta. My goodness.
They won that one.
And the Hawks probably lose. We'll see what the Hawks do. The Hawks right now are like that perpetual mid-team.
Yeah.
They won the lottery a couple years ago, but it was like the worst draft. But Zachary Rizichet hasn't exactly moved the needle for them. You know what I mean?
Everyone's like, I'm just going to take a Frenchman after Victor Wembanyama, please.
But in this draft, they could get, can you imagine them doing a double win in this lottery?
So what would be
they'd have their own pick, and they'd have the Pelicans pick.
Right.
They could get 2 top 5 picks
in
a really good draft.
What's crappy about this is what happens is the general manager for the Hawks, so I don't know who he is, will get all these kudos when they have that happen. You know what I mean? And he didn't do jack squat, right? He made a bad trade, or he made a trade that was that looked very you know what I mean? And then now he comes home, and let's say he gets the number 2 and the number 5 pick, or the number 3 and the number 5 pick.
His name is Ansi Salah.
Ansi Salah's over here going, please, 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 please. Talk about me like you do Sam Presti. Draw me like one of your French girls and talk about me like you do Sam Presti. Please. All right. We'll take a break.
Do you know their assistant general managers? You'd never guess.
If it's Nico Harrison, I will love it.
It's not Nico.
Oh, dang it. I thought maybe he landed on his feet.
It is a former Utah Jazz player.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Is it Mark Jackson or something? Wait.
Of all the people to pick, no, I'm not going to make you guess any further. It's Kyle Korver.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I mean, played there a long time. I mean, a longish time. For him, it was a long time, right? Yeah, it's a good guy to have in the front office. This is happening in football and basketball now, by the way. Matt Ryan gets hired as the president of football for the Falcons, right after he ends his career there. Kyle Korver, was he a Creighton kid? I thought no, he's not. Yeah, he's not an Ivy League kid. He's a Creighton kid.
Yep.
He's smart. Get him in there. He knows how to make deals. Come on. And look, if there's a guy who's been around for a few deals, he's been a part of a cajillion himself.
Yes.
So there you go. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program, TREJAN Wealth.com. That's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. We will come back right after this. Stay here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. This portion of the show brought to you by the good folks at University of Utah Health. U of U Health, hope is in their DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. That's uofuhealth.org. University of Utah Health, for you, for life. It's the NFL Blitz. So everybody was wondering what Lane Johnson was going to do. All-pro tackle for the Eagles. He's going to return for his 14th season. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Hanging it up after 13 would be just fine. But, here's the thing. If you know anybody who's going into retirement, I'm not talking about NFL retirement, but I think that it probably is even more so this way. If you talk to somebody who's nearing retirement, yell at them, don't just give up. Don't just say, I'm going to go fishing every day.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. It will never last. I know you love golf, and I know people are out there going, yeah, you watch. I'll be the guy who plays 36 holes of golf a day. But these guys, they don't want to quit because it's hey, the money's great, first of all. But do you think Lane Johnson has to worry about what his financial future looks like? Probably not.
No.
That's not why he returned. At some point, you can't give it up because you're like, what would I do next that's better than this? Nothing.
And you're still in your early to mid-30s.
Yeah.
If you can still do it and your family's okay with it, whatever your circumstances are, everyone has different family circumstances. And, missing some important family things is always going to tug at you. But you're 1% of 1%, the greatest athletes in the world. You get a chance to do that. How do you walk away from it knowing you can still do it at a high level? That's tough to do.
Yeah, but he's coming back.
I love that he's coming back.
Yeah, it's great.
And we'll see how the Eagles are next year. They're kind of in a crossroads with where they're at. Can they get better or not? I don't know.
A.J. Brown's situation.
That kind of gets us into a topic that's in our list here. I don't know where you want to go.
Well, I was gonna say before we get to the guys who maybe want to find other places.
Yes.
Don't worry, because the state of Indiana has voted unanimously, and it's still on the table that one of my favorite things that could ever happen in sports might happen. The Chicago Bears could be playing all their games in Indiana.
Oh my gosh, the Indiana Bears.
That's what they'll call themselves. I'll make T-shirts right now. I'm not
building
afraid.
A stadium in Hammond, Indiana.
It sounds as boring as it probably looks.
Hammond. Population, 77,879. It is part of the Chicago metropolitan area.
You know what it has? You know what it has?
It's like Foxborough for Boston. I get it.
Yeah, but it's in but Foxborough's in
Like
Massachusetts.
Santa Clara to San Francisco.
In California still. That's what I love about it. If the Seahawks were in Portland, I would jump off of the Astoria Bridge that goes into Portland, by the way.
I mean, it's right on the border.
Oh, this guy's over here making it clear where he stands.
I mean, the New
No
York
big
Giants
deal.
and New York Jets play in Jersey. Who cares?
Yeah, but they have for decades. This, to me, is more funny. Let's make some T-shirts, Snapless. Indiana Bears.
The Indiana Bears.
Sounds so bad. You know there's a festival that they have there that has to do with, like, some Polish food, right?
Has to be.
Has to be. Something where, we could enjoy it. Something with some cheese and potatoes involved. Something fried. I love ham in Indiana, especially this time of year. It's not gray at all. Speaking of people who need to find that different scenery, yes. People who need to possibly find other places to go, one of the people on that list is A.J. Brown. Is his time in Pittsburgh or his time in Philadelphia over? JJ?
Yes, I think so. I think you saw the friction there at the end and didn't finish the way he wanted. I think it might be good for him and the Eagles to part ways.
I thought it was. Now that's going to be a tough thing because you don't replace him lightly, and
No.
Relationships have to be really bad if you've got a guy who's a phenomenal wide receiver. And he's not. I mean, we're not looking at A.J. Brown and going character issues. We're not looking at him.
No.
We're not looking at him like A.B.
No.
This is not what we're talking about. It just got weird, and so it's gotten weird. It's a tough situation for them to be in. If you're Jalen Hurts, you immediately your QBR goes down if A.J. Brown's out the door.
Yeah, I mean, you only part with him if you have somebody that you feel can replace him. And the Eagles have had a pretty good receiver core. I mean, Devontae Smith and and A.J. Brown is a pretty good combo.
But that's why it worked. Those two guys were on the same roster.
You can't. Can Devontae Smith be your only your number one guy and your only top threat? Well, who do you have to replace A.J. Brown? And that's a pass game that's already struggling with a quarterback whose strength isn't necessarily airing it out. I mean, Jalen Hurts has his qualities, but the deep ball isn't one of them. So how does that impact things? It's a team that feels like they're more invested in who their tight end is than who their outside receiver threat is.
Got a local name that's on this list. Did you see it? It's for your guys.
Okay.
They suggest Jonah Ellis find greener pastures.
That's an interesting. There's not a lot of room there in the roster.
That's what the point is. They're like, this guy's
he has
super
a chance to be pretty darn good.
Yes, this guy's super talented. But you're not going to start in front of Jonathan Cooper or Nick Bonito, right?
Right.
That's the whole deal. So, and by the way, how about Jonah Ellis coming into the league immediately and just being good? I mean, it's Taylor's old as time. Ellis boys play some pretty good
Three
football.
Ellises in the league. Pretty crazy. Another local on this list too as well. Clark Phillips III. You didn't see him at all last season, right?
So he was injured, right?
Yes.
For the majority of it.
Yep.
And started off pretty hot. Yeah, and he was very promising, but
had a triceps injury.
I thought this was mean because they said at 5'9" with short arms. Come on. Don't throw the short arms in there.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why he was as elite as he was in college. He fell to the fourth round because of the size.
Small hands.
5'9".
Small hands.
I know Clark, and he was great while he's here. He doesn't. I can assure you, he does not smell like cabbage.
He's not a
He's
carny.
not a carny.
Yeah.
No, he's
well, but look, what I like about this
he
list
needs
is
a fresh start. I would agree.
Every one of these guys could find greener pastures for the sake of the team that they're leaving and for those guys personally. And I'm just a huge fan of guys finding places. I'm a huge fan of guys finding places that fit because there are people who have ended their NFL career prematurely because of the crap situation that the Cleveland Browns created for them.
Right.
Not that I'm pointing out.
Look at Joe Thomas never making the playoffs in his Hall of Fame.
The Jets, the Browns, for a good chunk of their history, the Cincinnati Bengals. So many of these franchises bring guys in and then they go, well, it's just not good. And then it turns out you have a crap staff. And guys, it just feels like such an injustice that really, really good football players, if they would have been on a different team, they would have been all pro in some cases. Or win a Super Bowl in some cases.
There's some more interesting names.
The alien language left to the TV.
Oh, we're back.
We made some progress during the show.
A brand new graphic there. That's
I thought
nice.
we were haunted for a minute there.
There's some other names on this list that I think are interesting.
Tell me.
J.J. McCarthy.
Ooh.
Needing a fresh start.
I told you.
He just started.
Oh. a fresh new start.
The irony is Sam Darnold was probably on this list last year for similar reasons, where just couldn't get it done. Like, there's got to be some patience, but maybe I don't know. It's hard because
J.J. McCarthy
haven't seen anything that makes me think, man, they've got it nailed. They got their guy. You know, the same draft, the Broncos got Bo Nix, the Patriots got Drake May. The Bears got Caleb Williams, right? You know those guys are legit. They've proven themselves
Caleb
in
Williams,
just 2 years.
Does he play for the Indiana Bears?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
In Hammond, Indiana. That metroplex of Hammond, Indiana. There's guys in that draft that have already proven themselves to be the guy. Has J.J. McCarthy proven anything so far? Absolutely not. But at the same time, if you're the Vikings and you've sacrificed so much for him, do you feel comfortable pulling the plug on him already?
Yeah, but you know what this does?
Jeez.
It keeps the narrative going of what we talked about earlier in the week. Derek Carr coming out of retirement to play for the Vikings.
And maybe you're looking at that if you're the Vikings.
I love desperate moves by desperate organizations because they had I don't even know if the window was technically open last year. They won a lot of games, obviously. They didn't know it was going to be open. Just like the Seahawks didn't know the window was going to be open this year, frankly.
Right.
So that window they thought was actually open. So now they're retroactively trying to stay in the window that they didn't even know was open at that point.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
The Vikings are in a weird place.
They are going back and going, okay, J.J. McCarthy, forget it. We don't need him. I actually don't like him. I hate that guy. Can we get Derek Carr in here? Derek Carr is not going to solve your issues. Ask Raider fans.
Would Tua Tagovailoa solve their issues?
No. Same thing.
That's another guy on this list that probably, I would agree,
Where do you think he goes?
needs to move on because he has lost his job in Miami. There's a new coach. There's a new regime in Miami.
Is that French?
Sure. Where does Tua go? Does Tua have a place in the league anymore as far as a starter goes?
Lots of quarterbacks on this list still. Kyler Murray, they're talking about that guy.
Where does Kyler Murray end up?
I don't know, but
Do you know who the new OC is with the Cardinals?
Who?
I can't believe this guy even has a job.
Who is it?
Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh my gosh!
I know, right?
That guy. When you'd watch Hard Knocks, would you look at him and be like, "This guy doesn't know what he's doing"?
Yeah, it was clear.
You're like, oh, but of course the Jets hired him, and the Cardinals hiring him seems like it's perfect.
That is on brand. He couldn't even make it through a year in Denver as the head coach.
That's crazy.
Just an absolute tire fire.
He goes in there, can't make it work after 1 year. Everybody
Him
knew
and Russell Wilson.
Everybody
man.
knew he was a fraud, and then he goes to the Jets, and people there were like, I don't know, he's kind of an offensive mind, all right. No, he's not.
He really helped Zach Wilson's career.
Ugh, he is not an offensive mind.
Where does Zach Wilson end up?
He might be done.
Speaking of fresh starts,
he might be done. It's kind of a weird spot for the Wilson family to be in. You got Isaac, who might be the second or third quarterback at Colorado,
right?
And you got Zach, who unfortunately found his place in bad situations.
Does somebody out there decide we're going to roll the dice on the number 2 overall pick in the
give him a
2021 draft?
Give him a tryout.
Man, there's a lot of guys out there that maybe some teams are more interested in giving a guy a shot because of the Sam Darnold story. I don't know.
Let's take a break. We'll come back when we return. Best and worst. Great time to end that music. I know we planned it that way. 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
Don't confuse the two. Scotty G and friends will be at Kenny J's tomorrow, noon to 3. Kenny J's Barbecue, the best we've ever had on this program. JJ?
Oh, love it.
Not even close. This has been some good barbecue, but that one does the trick. The 1660 ranking show is going to be happening there live. Kenny J's Barbecue, located at District Drive in South Jordan, right by the Megaplex Theater. So you can find it right there, and you'll have a great time. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. If you eat brisket, then I'll guarantee it. Okay? Best and worst. LaMelo Ball. Did you see the video of the post-crash LaMelo Ball Hummer video?
No.
They were. I saw the thing. It was like LaMelo Ball's okay after his custom Hummer crashed in an intersection, and I was like, "Was it a Cybertruck?" No, I saw a Hummer. No, it's a Hummer. Go look. Get your big obnoxious cars down. Hold on a minute. Now I'm mad. Okay. Which ball was it? Let me see here. 3 things to know about LaMelo Ball's wrecked Hummer. Look it up, dude. It was a Hummer. Anyway, it was camoed out, and it looks really dumb. We're fighting over. The reason you thought it was a Cybertruck is because the front wheel was missing.
Now, I'm in the middle here. I'm impartial. I'm going to be fair to both of you. Yes, it is a Hummer, but to Napolis's point, it looks like a Cybertruck. It's ugly.
It's a Hummer.
Either way, it's probably a blessing that he wrecked it.
Well, the first thing I thought was, well, he's in a freaking Hummer. I guarantee he's not hurt. But you have to worry about somebody else. The tire flew off. It was like sitting in the intersection.
You mean, was it the tire or was it the wheel came flying out of the vehicle?
I want a steering wheel that doesn't fly out the window. Yeah, it was a tire.
Now you know why people are so concerned about the steering wheel flying out of the car.
It was an actual wheel. It was an actual.
Okay.
So it was just sitting there, and don't worry, he'll be available.
Oh, good. I'm
said,
glad nobody got hurt.
If you're getting a wreck in a Hummer EV, I think they weigh 1 million pounds. The other party is who I'm concerned for, not LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, and everybody's okay.
Okay, good. That's also the best, that everybody's okay. The worst, Fernando Mendoza. I saw this story earlier this week, and I was like, oh, my goodness. So apparently, while he was in the transfer portal, he had some interest from a handful of teams, including kind of some soft interest from Georgia. And he was encouraged to call Kirby Smart. Hey, call Kirby and see if he'll talk to you about the possibility of going there. Kirby Smart sent him a voicemail, or whatever the version was. Fernando Mendoza saw it as a sign when the phone wasn't picked up by Georgia that God didn't want him to play at Georgia. Georgia didn't win a national championship.
Probably could have used a Fernando Mendoza at quarterback, right?
Who's the middle-aged gentleman who plays quarterback for them now?
John Stockton.
When you say it, I actually cannot remember. Gunnar Stockton. Oh, yeah. So Fernando Mendoza was a phone call away from being a Georgia Bulldog, possibly.
Oh,
I just love those types of stories. I know. I love
another L for the SEC, where it just means more.
Look, do you want to be coached by a guy in the what type of hat is that Kirby wears? The old ball coach wore it too. What are those
a visor.
Called? The visor. You want a coach wearing a visor, or do you want a coach who looks like he might be a sociopath? Talking about Kurt Signetti. Google him if you don't know who he is. All right.
Visors are an SEC thing.
They really are. I just want the top of my head to get some sun, not the sides or the front. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be right back around the corner. Stay here with us, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.